So you're all old hands at this a bit at this stage anyway, and you notice like in your sitting that after a little while you experience a stillness, you know. After you've stopped feeding your neurosis, you feel a certain amount of stillness, which is lovely. It's really nice, and it's like you've finally gotten a break from all the planning. If you know what I mean, you finally got a break from all the planning, and it's lovely, and you deserve it, and you should enjoy it. But stillness is not the point. Because it's so nice, because it's such a break from the pressure of doing, you know, you begin to struggle to hold on to it. I see that when you sit. Sometimes you begin to struggle to hold on to it, to suppress what might be disturbing you. And you suffer. So, the whole point is to leave the good and bad experiences just as they are. And in that way, if you just leave them, they reveal their empty nature. If you understand this point, you have made huge progress. When you leave the risings in your mind, just leave them alone. When you leave them alone, they reveal the fact that they are transient, that they are just movement. Good feelings come and they dissolve. Bad feelings come and they dissolve. And all the time you remain in the knowing. Basically, you remain in like simplicity, where you're not evaluating anymore. You're no longer frightened. You just remain in this open simplicity, experiencing your sky-like nature. Clouds come, clouds go. Experiencing your sky-like nature, which has always been there, which is not created. And you rest while your mind is still active. This is an important point. You're at rest even though there's activity in your mind. It's not just rest when there's stillness. It's resting when there's activity, in the recognition of the empty nature of the appearances. And then you lose it. And eventually you notice it. And at that point you just let go. But if it's become heavy in the meantime, if this active mind has become, I think you know what I mean. Then put your focus on feeling your breath. 2, 3 breaths. And then let go. Okay, so let's do that. hands off the steering wheel. Don't look for something special. This is it. You know, even when you get very, very upset, this is always there. The sky like nature. Okay. I think I said some important things at the start there. It's probably worthwhile. I'm going to be going over it again on Wednesday, but I think if you really get to this point about the how if you leave it alone, and leave it alone literally means leave it alone. It doesn't mean stopping. You see, it doesn't mean disregarding. It doesn't mean engaging. It's literally leaving it alone. Simplicity. If you do that, then you discover the nature of all your experiences, and you become freer and freer and freer. The whole mess settles. Might take a few years. Have you got something better to do? Wow. Anyway, you know I'm a great enthusiast for this stuff. Okay, I'm sure you got shopping and all kinds of things to do. I'll hold on as usual. Okay, have a nice day.
Thanks,
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Martin.
Thanks,
Bye.
Martin.
Thanks, William.
Bye.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a lovely weekend.
You too.
Hi, Martin and Cecily.
Hey, hi,
Hello.
Oh, you have the full compliment there.
Yeah.
What full compliment indeed.
And is that a tanker I see? No, it's not. It's a painting.
No, the map of Ireland.
Oh!
That's lovely.
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
Lovely.
it's a nice one with all the animals and the nature, you know, the trees and the birds that are in Ireland.
Lovely. Say hi to Maisie for us, Sheila.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hi,
Maisie.
Sheila.
Yes.
Hi, Cecily.
Sheila, say
Hi,
hi to
Cecily.
Maisie for us. Say hi to Maisie for us.
Bill, she's out in the lab, but she had to get this ready for me to.
I hope they were all sitting very quietly there in
Oh.
perfect meditation.
Aha, aha, aha.
Okay,
All right,
Lovely.
thanks very much.
you're
Thank
very
you,
welcome.
Sheila.
Delighted to
Bye.
see the kids.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi,
Yeah.
Martin.
Two troublemakers.
Yeah.
You're
Let me see if I
beautiful.
can get it. Please.
And knowing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Martin, I'd like to ask a question if possible.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You know, what about the relapses? Like, for instance, we go through, I think they're normal, but like we go through nothing, everything always changes. But like meditative stage and applying to in our daily life, you know, but sometimes with certain reasons, like, how can I best put it? We go through not being in that sort of peaceful state, or, you know,
Being disconnected.
Yeah, you get a bit of relapse, and then I know it's a sort of period normal, should be treated, not bad but everything is changes, but still, personally speaking, I would like to be in that awareness, Skylar, you said the state. What would you say?
Wouldn't we all? It's wonderful. It's fantastic, Thing is, you see, that we have been disconnected from it for a long time. And we've substituted, they have a word for this, self-comforting, is it?
Maybe.
Yeah. We have substituted a whole pile of habits. We have a whole pile of habits that are self-soothing.
Yeah.
We have a whole pile of habits that we have adopted in order to soothe ourselves from experiences that we judge as being harmful. So, and these are very deep patterns, So they keep getting triggered again and again and again. Right? That's okay. There's even a story, I have to find the exact thing. There's even a story of a great master who the emperor was interested in living long. So he invited this great master to give him a long life empowerment, So the master came, and I can't remember the details. I remember a little bit of the details, but I have to find I have to find where the story is from and give you the full thing. But the master says, "Bring me a vase," right? So the master puts his hand into the vase. He said something which I don't remember exactly. He takes his hand out again, and he says, "That's it," And the emperor goes, "You charlatan, throw that man into prison." So he got thrown into prison. So a little later, his students come looking for him, right? So when the students appear at the imperial court, the emperor asks them, "Do you know long life empowerment, And they said, oh yes. Our teacher has taught us, So they started off. It took them 3 or 4 days. Started off, they did all these prayers, they made offerings, they burnt incense, they walked around, whole kind of thing. And at the very end, they took a vase, one to put their hand into it, took it out and said the same thing that the real master said, And then the emperor realized, oh my God, what have I done? I put this guy into jail. So summoned him back out of the jail, or released him from the prison, And so the students, maybe just the emperor asked him, are you upset at my actions, And what the master said was, he says, no, I had some karma to finish. So we all have this karma, we all have these deep ingrained habits. And they will reappear, right? The difference now is you're not feeding them. The difference is if you can recognize the empty nature of the appearances, a few times a day, if you can recognize that, you've pulled the rug out from underneath all the self-soothing habits, because now you have the confidence of being connected with your true nature. That was pretty good chat. No, and it's really true, eh? Yeah. takes a while, but it's over. I know. Another friend of mine, actually, is Peter from Sauggenbera. He's the man who gave the land and buildings and everything to Rigpa. We were talking one day, and we have a very similar take on things. And I said to him something like, "It's all over, you know." And he said, "Yeah, it's over, you know. The mess is over, you know." And both of us had the same kind of take on it as well. But why does it keep coming back, kind of thing? Why does anyway? That's just an old man, you know, kind of. If you remember things from the past, and you tell people in the hope that they're interested. Mm. Other stuff works as well. We'll be going through this at some stage. Other stuff works as well. Kindness. You refocus yourself. Kindness. Compassion. Love. When you refocus, you see, all of these things, all of these habits come from hurt. So when you refocus on genuine goodness in your own being, again, you're undermining, you know. Okay.
Can I ask, probably at this stage, an embarrassingly superficial question?
Go on.
I notice more
Ah.
when I'm gone.
Mm.
In fact, that's what I mean about being. It happens so often. It's kind of a bit scary. No, it's not scary, but it's kind of.
Yeah.
Gee, I'm gone.
Yeah.
At that point, I still get irritated.
Yeah.
And I know I should be saying, "Gee, Margaret, this is great," but I'm not. That's not what I'm actually saying. Is it? Bloody hell.
Okay. Wednesday.
I'll forget.
Wednesday, I'm going to sort it.
Okay.
If you can hang on that long.
Oh, I think so.
Okay. There's a trick. There's a trick.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
It's almost like, Martin, we have to, as well as being aware, we also have to have parallel engagement with the thoughts in order to achieve our daily activity. It's almost like letting the clouds float away, but we also need them to produce rain.
Yeah. You see.
We almost have to do it parallel.
Yeah. See, what's interesting here is when we're sitting, what's different from how we are ordinarily? You see, I see some people when some people when they sit, I see that they just think it just means, you just leave your mind wander, let your mind do whatever it wants to do. That's not what we're talking about. When we say leave it alone, and I'm going to repeat myself again, when we say leave it alone, we actually mean leave it alone. That doesn't mean it disappears instantly. It doesn't mean you don't see it. It doesn't mean you don't understand. It doesn't mean you don't know how to act. It's quite different from judgmental mind. Very different.
Is that what you've been saying all along about the person still knows how to book a Reinhardt ticket?
Exactly.
Okay.
What's different? You're not. How can I put this? You're not struggling. The bill comes. You know you have to pay it. The bill comes. You can't pay it, say. You know you can't pay it. No struggle. What's our normal thing is should be like this, should be like that, I think, I'd like. It's quite a different, it's quite a, I don't know, did that help at all?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah.
I love our little chats, I think they're great.
Cheerio. I'm heading
Okay.
off to Bloom.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to revisit Cecily's most excellent contemplation.
I was just looking for the quote from Ken MacLeod. It relates to the experience. Everyone has that experience of struggle because we want things to be other than the way they are. So it's a very useful quote. I put it in at the end of the notes. Okay.